There is only one leader with the cachet to lead the fight, that reluctant warrior, Barack Obama. This is now a so-called holy war between radical jihadists and everybody else, including peaceful Muslims. ISIS has murdered thousands of innocent people who follow the teachings of Allah. The terror savages will kill anyone at any time. The holy war is here. And unfortunately, it seems the President of the United States will be the last one to acknowledge it.
Bill O'Reilly last night saying that the world is in a holy war with ISIS. You heard him there. He blasted the president for what he considers a lack of leadership in refusing to acknowledge the existence of Islamic extremism. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, as founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, he is the author of A Battle for the Soul of Islam and former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander as well. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is here, Fox News strategic analyst. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Always good to have both of you with us, and everybody's very interested in what you have to say about this. Dr. Jasser, let me start with you. Do you agree with Bill O'Reilly's characterization there?
I do, and actually, if I can narrow it down a little bit as a Muslim, I would say that this is a holy war within the House of Islam between the theocrats who have manifestations like the Saudis and the Khomeinis and the Muslim Brotherhood and the jihadists all over the world, and within the House versus the liberals, the secularists that have demonstrated in the millions against the Brotherhood in Egypt and against Ennahda, who won an election in Tunisia against the Islamists there. So there's a battle within the House, and the leader of the free world is the only ally for the reformers. And as long as we don't name Islamism, political Islam, and all Islamic states as the enemy, as the new evil empire, we will never be able to engage reform, and you'll never have a solution to this whack-a-mole current strategy that we have.
And as you well know, that is a battle within Islam that has been going on for decades, if not centuries, really. So it continues, yes, and it takes the shape and visage of ISIS at this point, and a number of other groups that the president has outlined now in an op-ed. But, you know, Ralph, I'm wondering how convincing you think the president is in terms of who we stand with in this battle.
No, I really believe the president stands with the Muslim Brotherhood, that he sees the Muslim brothers as the middle ground, the solution, and it's absolutely wrong-headed. And I said before, he romanticizes the worst elements in Islam and thereby undercuts the true moderates and the decent people trying to take Islam into the future while revering its traditions. And as far as Bill O'Reilly's comments about a holy war, well, he's certainly right that these fanatics, this death cult that has grown within Middle Eastern Islam, Islamic State, Al-Qaeda and others, they are waging a holy war against us, in their view. But it's asymmetrical. We're not waging a holy war against them. On the contrary, we're fighting for civilization. We're fighting for the rule of law. We're fighting for freedom of religion for Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, and atheists. We're fighting for rights for women. We are, again, in short, we are fighting for civilization. And Dr. Jasser and I are on the same sheet of music on this one.
I mean, when you look at what's going on in Paris and Copenhagen, I think it's absolutely true that civilization in all of these areas, all around the world, is threatened by this radicalism. But I wonder, you listened to Marie Harf from the State Department, Dr. Jasser, and she said, yes, you know, we're doing what we need to do militarily, but this is a hearts and minds issue. And what we need to do really is to make sure that people have jobs, to give them other things to hope for. What do you think about that?
I'm sorry. I mean, this battle of hearts and minds was what we said after 9/11, and we're 15 years later, and where are we? This is not a collectivist. You know, they always want to bring this generic concept of hope and almost socialist mindset that, you know, the billionaires are the ones that are radicalizing. This is an Islamist. The Boston bombers, the Fort Hood shooter, the terrorist, Nidal Hassan, was not in search of a job. He was a supremacist Islamist that was a theocrat. So if we want to drain the pool that these radicals are swimming in, that pool is the supremacism of the Islamic State, any Islamic state. And as Colonel Peters said, this is a battle not only against the symptom of violent extremism, it's for liberty. And the president's doctrine, which he didn't even lay out in his editorial today in the LA Times, was what? It's about hope, and we have to be for a liberty doctrine. And the doctrine today is a Darwin doctrine, where the most evil, the most corrupt, the lowest hanging fruits survive. And I can tell you as a Muslim, Martha, it's almost like a bigotry of low expectations that we Muslims can't deal with democracy. Let's just deal with the monarchs and the autocrats to basically run the Muslim world away from terrorism only as the symptom.
All right, we got to leave it there. Colonel Peters, thank you. Dr. Jasser, thank you.
Martha.
Great to have you both.
All right, so there's